Hi guys, and welcome you to our today's AMALYZE Shield operating webinar. In this webinar, I'll show you all the main operating control and elements in Shield. Means I'll show you the table configuration, the date configuration, how you get access to the EU Amazon marketplaces that we display currently in Shield. The handling of the certain filters means text filters, number filters, true false filters with some serious examples. Then I'll show you how you can save certain filters, how you can forward them, for example, edit them, and combine all those different filters when you start to query for certain data. Also, we have a round of question and answers, which is about 15 minutes. There you can ask me all the questions that you have on this here. All right, thanks for your attendance, and I would say let's start. Well, for this webinar and this certain topic, we use the research module, right? I now take the keywords, means the keyword research, and we initially land here. For this webinar, I would say we start with the following. I'll show you how you can add further marketplaces into your marketplaces filter. As you can see here, we have Amazon DE preset in that filter, but we can easily remove that one by click on that small cross symbol here on the right side. As you can see now, the drop-down menu opens with all the available marketplaces that we display in Shield. For this webinar, in this certain case, I take the UK marketplace, and with apply filter, we get the data out of the UK marketplace regarding the keywords. You can now just check on the left lower corner the amount of results regarding keywords out of Amazon DE that we have currently displayed here in that data table. Let's apply the filter and let's check how many keywords we query out of that UK marketplace. Well, now you see that the amount of results is lower than on Amazon DE back then. Well, are there any questions regarding the marketplaces filter? All right, so as I said before, you can vary your query. I could definitely query two marketplaces at once, UK and DE, and I can also add them all and apply. And then we have those more than 69 million keywords that we query in certain frequencies. Well, back to the UK one. So that filter is clear so far. It's quite easy to handle. I guess there's no problem with that one. Well, let's go further. As you can see here, we have a data table given, all right? We have certain columns, certain lines, and we have down here the information that we currently display 10 out of more than 16 million results. Well, we can change that. Up here in the right corner, we see that symbol. Here the mouse over already tells us it's the page size function. Click on this and the drop-down menu opens, and we can easily just choose one of those numbers. If I want 50 results to be shown here, all right, you'll see the data table will load that up for you. Also with the 100, and it's quite fast. A really good thing is that that bar down here, that footer that sticks, means you always have an eye on the amount of results that you're looking at or probably have filtered. Well, I take the 20 results so I have a better overview. Right to that symbol, we see that refresh button. With a click on that symbol here, the whole data table will refresh itself. Means not the whole page size, don't confuse that. It's just the data table. Means click on this and we have a fresh data table. So you also can make use of that, of course. Right next to that, we have the modify columns function. Means those columns here that are displayed in that certain order can be moved, all right? There are two ways. You can easily grab any column here, as you can see, just by the column name itself, and then move it to the right side or the left side, and then easily drag and drop it how you even need it, all right? But as I said before, we can go further on this. We can go deeper when we want to modify columns. So that symbol, if we click here, we see that me and the team, we already created a default filter. All right, you have to create your own default setup here regarding the columns. All right. So the setup of the modified columns, you can easily save that. How you can do that, that's something that I show you in a few seconds. Let's go further on this. On modified columns, all right, I click on this here and that window opens. Here, if I click on this, it collapses, all right? And we have all the different columns that are displayed in the data table. All right, that all those certain columns are displayed currently. And how can I recognize that? I recognize that because those checkboxes are set on true. All right, so you have to check in here. The orange check tells you, all right, that column is currently displayed in your data table. If you don't need one of those information, one of those columns, you just click on this box here, all right, and remove the check, and you can be sure that this certain column won't be displayed in your data table. Are there any questions so far regarding this? Perfect. All right, then let's go further. Here on the right side, we see two different options or information. We see frozen columns, all right, and we see columns. We can easily froze columns if we want them to be shown constantly. That's something that I show you. You can also drag and drop those certain columns here. As we did it in the data table, we can do it back here. For example, I want the information of the categories up here. I want the buying power. I want the search volume. All right. And then the next step is we can froze them. All right. Just grab them and move them on the left side here where it says frozen columns. And you will see that those columns will stick. Let's also take the buying power and the search volume, and why not also the marketplace that we look at. Perfect. Now, as I said before, we can easily save that setup. How can you do that? Down here, you see that box, that empty box. By click on this one, this line here appears, and we can now choose a certain name. Let's take X, for example, a webinar. And now when I click on save and apply, just check the left side here. Perfect. As we see, we have those 4 columns and we froze them. All right. They stay constantly, and you can also do that by just take one of those columns and move in here to the right, to the left side, and you see all those columns will be frozen. So you're flexible on this one. Well, and as I told you before, the setup that you saved up regarding the modified columns, you can find them here. Just click on that symbol again, and you find all your saved setups regarding those columns here. By click on the trash sign, that small one on the right side, you gonna remove that setup that you saved before. Be careful, just one click is enough and the setup will be deleted. So there's no pop-up window coming, nothing like that. There's a example, just click on it and you'll see that one is gone. All right. Well, make use of that. That can make your life way easier. Perfect. Right to that symbol, we see those two arrows. One goes up and one goes down. By click on this, we can expand the table here. Well, now the whole table is expanded. And by click on it again, we can collapse it. All right. So also here, that's just for you. I personally like the collapsed version of the certain lines here, but who wants it like that can also just configure that. Well, and the last symbol here on the right side, the mouse over, tells us the export to Excel file. Here we have the XLSX, CSV, and TSV option to export data out of that data table here. All right, perfect. Are there any questions so far? Perfect. Then I would say let's start with the filters. All right. Let's go into the different types of filters we have here in Shield. We are still on keyword research, and let's take one example here. If I click here, I can scroll through the drop-down menu. All right. I can scroll through the drop-down menu, and I can take one of those filters. But here's the clue. All of these filters have, they're not the same. Means we have three types of filters that be shown here in the drop-down menu. I mentioned it before. We have our text filters, we have our number filters, and the true and false filters. Well, let's start with the text filter because that's the quite easy one. All right, I take the keyword filter. Here on the left side, we see an operator, means keyword contains. We can also choose the operator does not contain, equals, or does not equal. We take the operator contains, and in this case, we take the keyword Bluetooth headphones. All right, go and search. We can go and search two different ways, by click on the play button here or by click on apply filter, as always. Well, as we see here, we get keywords that contain Bluetooth headphones out of Amazon UK. And that's quite the simple way of a text filter. We can set an OR, means we want to look at keywords that contain Bluetooth headphones, or let me say here, AirPods, all right, from Apple, apply filter. Here we have the AirPods, and so on and so on. All right, just fill in the text into the value line and you can set an OR, and you can vary your query easily with that. Another thing is we have the number filter. Let's take, for example, the reviews one. All right. So here we also have different operators given that already shows you that we have a different type of filter offered. Means the reviews filter is definitely a number filter. That's something that you can also see on the operators here. Means equals, bigger than, bigger or equals, does not equal, smaller than or equals. All right. And in this case, let's take bigger than, and let's say, for example, 30. As we learned it before, I will now look for my certain column back here on the reviews. Here we are. I grab that one. I drag it over here. And now we see I took the filter, the reviews filter. I want keywords to be shown with the average number of reviews for products that rank to that keyword. So for example, products that rank to that keyword Ella granola, all right, within the top 100 search results must have at least, more than 30 reviews. That's basically that's what the filter tells you. We can check it here. Now we sorted it downwards, it's stored upwards, and now you see there's nothing shown here, all right, smaller than 30. All right, so that filter of course works, and we have different types of number filters offered here for brands, merchants, categories, also for the sponsored product ad slots, and so on and so on. Perfect. Then let's go over to the third type of filter. This one is the true or false filter. International shipping, yeah, let's take that one here. All right, we only want keywords to be shown with international shipping information regarding the products that rank to that certain keyword within the top 100. All right, that sounds probably a bit complex. It's not. I look for my certain column, here it is, and I also drag that here to the left side. And what I meant is here, that information indicates if products that are offered, all right, for international shipping and rank to that keyword. All right, so we only have keywords here offered in that data table right now with that query with products ranked to them that are offered over international shipping. Well, so here we have 3 different types of filters. I would now say let's make a serious query in which we combine these 3 filters, and then let's check how we can also save a filter and make use of that. For this, I go over to the product research. We are still on Amazon UK. And now we learned it already. We have here the add filter option, the drop-down menu opens, and also here we have different types of filters. I start with the brand filter. All right, that's the text filter that we already learned to handle with. I can now type in to the value line a certain brand name. Let's take, for example, Nike. All right. Apply filter. Well, now we look for products that are from the brand Nike on Amazon UK. And here's a quite important information for you. You will find all products out of those marketplaces here, all right, that rank to at least 1 keyword that we query. And we query more than 69 million keywords. So if one ASIN, all right, ranks to at least of one of those keywords, we will find that ASIN here in Shield. Well, everything that can be found by the Amazon customer during his search itself can also be found in Shield, all right? Products that can't be found by the Amazon customers won't be ASINs that you can find in Shield. What is quite logic, I guess, all right? If that ASIN gets visibility at some point in the near future, you can be sure that we will also find that one. Well, let's go further. So as I said before, we will combine those 3 filters. Now we have the brand contains Nike filter. I now do one thing. I take another page size. I go on 20 results. There we are. Down here, we see that we currently find more than 570,000 products out of Amazon UK of the brand Nike. What we can do now is we can add another marketplace. Let's take Amazon DE. Let's make it a bit more complex. All right. We are looking for products on Amazon UK and Amazon DE of the brand Nike. And let's look for further filters. Well, here we are. Perfect. Now click on Add Filter, and now I take the title filter. Let's only search for products that have in the title football. That doesn't make so much sense because football would be probably called Fußball in Germany. Let's take, in this case, could take like basketball. Is that a good idea? Let's do it. Let's check what we have. So products, brand Nike, Amazon UK, and Amazon DE. In the title, we have basketball. There we are. More than 37,000 products. Well, perfect. Here we are. Let's go further. I would say let's make use of another serious filter. Let's take, for example, the price filter. All right, we have here the price. Let's start that one for a second. Here we are. All right, we see we still have more than 37,000 products. All right, let's take that column here and drag it over that it is inside. Perfect. Now I click on Add Filter. And I take the price filter. All right, just the price filter, not the price per unit. We take the price itself. And now I say, I just want products to be shown here with a price higher than 30. All right, we're not looking for products for basketball of Nike that are cheap, because we are looking for products that are a bit higher regarding the price. So we look for 30 and up. I click on Add Filter, and now take the price filter again. And now I say smaller than 160. That's my price range, all right? There we are. More than 22,000 different products shown here, all right? And now we've already combined several filters with each other. Are there any questions so far regarding this? All right, then let's go further, I'd say. There's one filter missing, and that's the true or false filter. Therefore, I would say let's make use of that one too. In that one, I would say let's look for the prime filter. What I mean with the price filter is, because we have a price range, let's check it if the query did work. And here we are, all right? Not bigger than 160. As you can see here, we have at most 159. And we are not smaller than 30 or even less, both. And now let's take the third type of filter. We are only looking for products that are sold over Prime. Therefore, I take the Prime filter and I set it on true, as we've learned it before. And now you see we have more than 6,200 products shown here, and they all fit to my certain query. All right. Let's do, for example, one thing. Now we've combined them and you know how it works, but let's look at two further factors that are really necessary regarding the filters in Shield. All right. In this case, I can now remove those filters that we set, and I make a serious one. I look for products on Amazon UK. All right, brand still Nike, and now we are looking for a certain merchant in the buy box. All right, we look for Amazon.co.uk. We look for Amazon.co.uk as a merchant in the buy box with products of the brand Nike. Here we are. All right, let's go further. We can check it here. All right, we only have Amazon.co.uk here displayed in this data table. Perfect. We could do the following. Let's set another filter, means a title filter. We are looking for products, women, and also running. Apply filter. I'm not sure if there are so many products with those specifics. There we are, 50. All right, 50 products. We can now do the following. Let's imagine that is my brand. All right, Nike is just an example. If you have a brand, for example, or you're a vendor, or you have your own listing and you sell products here on Amazon UK, on Amazon DE, and you make a query in Shield and you want to tag some products, you can now also tag them. As you can see here in that column, all right, we now have a serious query. As you can see here on the filters, I can now do one thing. I can easily save that filter, all right, by click on that symbol here, call it Nike merch aims at UK women running, save and apply, delete that. There we are. If I click on add filter again, here is my filter that I just saved. If I click on this, you're definitely and immediately back to your query with the certain filters. All right. And what I meant is you can just sort the columns, of course. I do it for now. I take the AMA score, that's our own visibility index. But as we can see here, products, all right, that have those specificas basically have no type of visibility currently, organically. Well, and now, as I said before, we can use the tags to give those certain products or ASINs here further critic or specificas in this case. Can use one checkbox, two checkboxes, three, or all. You can select all at once, or you can just use one ASIN itself. If I click on that 3-point symbol here, you can now click on edit text. This window opens and you can type something in, all right? But we do it with all of them here. I mean, at least 20. So I take that checkbox up here and now I click on tags, assign new tags. And now, for example, I make tags for brand or vendor. And let's take Nike. All right, perfect. And here we have one filter offered as well in the product research. We have the tags filter. Remove that one here, use the tags filter, type in the initials, means vendor, should be enough, and there we are. All right, as we wanted it before. Well, but also the saved filters, they are still here. Means if I click on this one, we are back to our query where we have more than 40 products offered. All right, Amazon UK, brand Nike, merchant in the buy box, Amazon UK, and the title contains women or running. Perfect. You can use the tags and you can vary them. You can choose the certain colors. All right. You can also edit them. If you choose those checkboxes here, by click and you make sure that you have the check available, you can click in that action bar up here on tags, and then you can easily update them. All right, by just type in the initials again. And you can now choose another color, purple. There we are. All right, now you edited them. That's possible, of course. Also possible that you can delete them. All right, I choose those 4 tags again. And now if I click in the action bar on tags again, I use delete existing tags, type in the initial, apply, and they are gone. Well, so make use of those certain functions. They will help you with your daily work. I would say let's look at the quite most important main control element, means the configuration of the dates. Well, we go on reviews, or we make another query. Let's look for more products, brand Nike with Amazon UK as merchant in the buy box, because that query that we've made for an example, those were only products with no visibility and no reviews so far. So let's look at one bit more interesting product here. Let's take that basketball. All right, I take reviews now, and now we will see that a chart will appear. There we are. Here's the chart. You could now do the following. By click up here, you can choose the time frame that you want the chart to refer at. If we, for example, want to look at the time frame from the 1st of August 2019 until today, the 15th of January, see what happens. Of course, we're looking at a few months, so you have to be patient sometimes in this case. But here we are. We see that for quite a month or more, or a bit less than a month, there happened nothing. But then we have some measure points offered here. And you can make use of that date configuration just by using own time frame. We have custom defined time frames, for example, give me the last 90 days. Also, the last 3 months. Or just today. What would mean that we have no measure point because there's no review that we found regarding this ASIN here. So, well, no change regarding the amount of the reviews. Also, you can make use of that function here. You can view that chart here on a daily base, weekly base, monthly, quarter, or yearly base. If we take the weekly base, of course, we get less measure points offered. Therefore, let's take the last 14 days. That's standard. And now take the weekly base. As you see here, we have less measure points. What makes sense? All right. Also, the monthly base. If I take the last 90 days, for example, click on month. There we are. All right. 3 measure points, and now the 4th with this month. Perfect. So, are there any questions so far? All right. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining. Have a good time, and keep analyzing. Stay up to date, and I hope that you learned more about the main controls of Shield and that you can make use of it now. Thank you. Bye-bye.